make reparations available to the people of Iraq, and let the people of Iraq rebuild their country that U.S. bombs destroyed. So, and remember, all of this is happening even before the order to withdraw troops. I would also convene with the United Nations to bring together civil society and the leadership of the Iraqi people, not the puppet government that's being installed there, but Iraqi civil society leadership under the auspices of the United Nations to advise that U.S. troops are going to be withdrawn with all deliberate speed and very quickly. So, suggest to the United Nations and to the Iraqi people that if they believe that there is any need for a military peacekeeping force to provide the safety and the safe space necessary for the rebuilding of the country, it's pretty obvious that that peacekeeping force simply cannot be composed of U.S. citizens who are viewed accurately as occupiers, not liberators. You know, you can tell the difference, right? A liberator is greeted with candy and flowers in the street. So if there is any need for a peacekeeping force, if there is that need, that peacekeeping force should only appropriately come from soldiers from the Islamic world who speak Arabic in order to de-escalate the clash of civilization that the Bush-Cheney administration has entered into. So you see, there's like a 5-step plan, simple, profound, and it'll work.
Thank you, Mr. Howe.
Well, there are 3 things that we could do. We could continue doing what we are doing right now. We can increase the number of troops or decrease the number of troops. Doing what we are doing right now is increasing terrorism. Every time we blow up a building and kill 5 terrorists, we motivate at least another 50 to sign up. And we are increasing the hatred for the United States. Second option would be to go in and kill everybody in Iraq, and then we can honestly say that nobody in Iraq hates us. Of course, I'm fairly certain that our view among the rest of the countries of the world would be somewhat diminished. I disagree with your premise that we cannot just pull out. That is the only rational and moral solution. We need to bring our soldiers home as safely and quickly as possible. Now, thank you. Your concern about what to do with Iraq once the soldiers leave is a really good one. And I agree that probably we should do some restitution. But I don't know how much. If we start building and, establishing hospitals and roads, how long do we stay there? How much money do we spend? Do we have to make Iraq look like another Las Vegas out in the desert before we're, able to say that we can come home? And I am not smart enough to know that answer, but I will bring the troops home, and I will establish a voluntary system for people to contribute and establish whether they want to build roads and hospitals and things like that. Americans are the most generous culture on the face of the earth, and we already give lots and lots of money in foreign aid, and I think that Americans will do the right thing, and they will appropriate some money to restore the damage that we've caused in that country.
Thank you. What steps do we take to get away from these closed elections and open it up, really? Mr. Cox?
Well, first of all, let's understand that the criticism is really about single-member winner-take-all election system, which really was, in fact, the best idea for how to do electoral democracy and voting 200 years ago. Today, the rest of the world is using cutting-edge voting system ideas like proportional representation, preferential voting, instant runoff voting, and others. So voting system reform is not just instant runoff voting. It would also be proportional representation. Because you know what? Even though there are some things that I absolutely disagree with Michael about, I am committed that there needs to be libertarians elected into the United States Congress. Just like there need to be Greens elected into the United States Congress. Everybody should feel and know that they have representation in our government. It's the only way to start to move to a genuine pluralistic society and have the kind of respectful debate and disagreement that Michael and I have demonstrated, not just in this debate, but in others. The second thing, folks, the media, the corporate media, is lying to us. Don't hate the media, become the media. Get involved in community radio, community media projects like indiemedia.org. I want to give a shout out to Community Radio Pacifica. I want to make sure that people understand that the truth is out there and we need to start using all the resources available. The civil rights struggle had a great phrase that we need to take to heart. Each one, teach one. When we really understand that we are in a battle for our country and that the wealthy elite who have hijacked both of the two establishment parties are working against our interest, we will understand how hard we must struggle and that we need to move past only things that we agree on. I have to be willing to stand up for Michael's right to participate even when I disagree with some of his positions.
Mr. Bednarik, and then we'll have closing statements by each candidate.
The Declaration of Independence says that when any form of government becomes destructive of your rights, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. How are we supposed to alter or abolish our government if we are not allowed to talk negatively about it? We should be outraged that we have free speech zones. We should be outraged that those free speech zones are surrounded by chain link fence and razor wire. We should be outraged that anybody who disagrees with George Bush or the Republican Party is handcuffed and dragged away from the stage. We should be outraged. We should exercise our freedom of speech, and we should do it in any format that we can come up with.
Thank you. Mr. Bednarik, do you want to give a closing statement?
I would like to thank the audience for coming out here, taking the time and the energy and the interest to listen to other options so they can go to the polls in November and make an educated choice. And I would like to thank my esteemed colleague for being willing to be here to debate these issues in a world of ideas. In closing, yes. I would like to leave you with a quote from the father of our country, George Washington, who said, "Government is not reason. Government is not eloquence. It is force. And like fire, it is a dangerous servant and a fearful master." If you live in a log cabin, you need fire in order to survive. You need it to heat your home. You need it to cook your food. In fact, fire is so important that you create a special place in the cabin. It's called a fireplace. Anytime the fire is in the fireplace, it is a good fire. And anytime that fire gets outside the fireplace, we automatically and reflexively stomp it out. The Founding Fathers understood that government is necessary to our survival. And they created a very special place for our government called the Constitution. And any government that lives within the confines of that Constitution is a good government. And any government that gets outside the limits of the Constitution is a bad government, and we should automatically and reflexively stomp it out. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I want to join Michael in thanking the host of this event. I want to thank the media that are here carrying this message out. I want to thank John Anderson specifically for his inspiration. And I want to make this observation, folks. The Libertarian Party and the Green Party are growing. We are both getting larger, stronger, and better organized with every election cycle. Now, I'll speak specifically for the Green Party. I know why we're growing, because we tell the truth. We tell the truth about the looming ecological catastrophe. We're telling the truth about a system of government that's not representing the people of the United States of America. We tell the truth about a racist, sexist, class-oppressive world order that's being created with the plunder of the looting of our planet. We're telling the truth, and it's reflecting, and more and more people are responding every single day. There's no doubt about it. The Green Party is calling for systemic change, deep, meaningful change. And you know, folks, I want to conclude my thoughts with this observation. Throughout all of American history, systemic change has followed a pattern that you can literally track, and it goes like this. ordinary citizens begin to have conversations with each other, challenging the existing system, the existing order. Step 2, those people begin to organize and develop a new platform, a new idea, a new vision. Step 3, those people then go to their elected representatives, the establishment parties of their day. And they say, hey, establishment parties, we want to see some change. Not tinkering at the margins changes, deep systemic change. And you know what, folks?